know statistically that the people that eat our gold bars are men between the age of 35 and 47 years old. Why? I haven't a clue. Now, gold bars are made in a factory in the north of the country in Carlisle. Yeah. You guys probably don't even go south of Luton, do you? But yeah, so we make gold bars up there. And the reason that gold bar is my favourite chocolate bar has to be because it reminds me of the people that work at our place. Every single one of them, to me, is worth their weight in gold. And we have 11 factories across UK and Northern Europe. We've also got a factory in India, in Nigeria, in Saudi Arabia, because they just can't get enough of the choc digs out there. Everybody loves a choc dig. And in terms of what we do with L&D, is we've got to reach out and touch quite a few people. 9,500 people. And a lot of these people have worked in our business a long time. The average age is 38. And if you go to a factory like Carlisle, where they make gold bars, you'll have dad in the mixing room, mum on line 7 packing, you'll have son working on an aeroba on a different line, and the communities and the factories that we have absolutely serve. It's more about the making of that biscuit. But there are people that are really, really proud of what they do. And without them, people like me wouldn't be in employment. Now, I've been with the business nearly 2 years. And basically, when I joined, we got a new CEO, Martin Glenn. Now, Martin's probably quite well known. He's worked in Igloo. He's done quite a lot of work in Walkers. He's a well-known Chief Executive Officer. And the one thing that he said when he joined our organisation is, you are stagnating as a company. If you do not change the way that you work as an organisation, the beautiful chocolate digestive will probably no longer exist in this country. And he's right. If I said the name Mondelez to you, does anybody know who that is? Yeah. What are they famous for? No, that's ours. Yeah, that's our bad boy. Made in Northern Europe, yeah. Mondelez, but if I said to you the word Oreo, yeah? So people don't really understand. Now, Mondelez is a food manufacturing company in Northern Europe who have said that they want to dominate the UK biscuit market. And what we have to say is, no, get off our patch. This is our gig, okay? Very passionate about, and we've got Go Ahead, we've got Jacobs, we've got McVitie's, and the products that fall off that are those that you shouted out at the beginning. Yeah, digestive, Jaffa cake. Those things are important, and it's the heritage of our company. So as an organisation, we had to change. And one of the things that we weren't very good at was having honest conversations. It sounds simple, but people are passionate about making biscuits, and we're bloody good at making biscuits. But what we wanted to do was introduce a concept into our organisation that's not just about what you do, it's also about how you do it. And Martin gave us a great analogy. He gave us a little word called PACE. And each of the letters stands for something quite significant. Now, these factory managers, these guys that work in head office, we had a very strong message to go out there to say, no more allowing poor performance to exist. No more letting people get away with it. And they had done, some of them, for years. We actually want to be honest. So what we did is we wanted to reach out and touch managers and say, right, we'd like to teach you how to have honest conversations. Now, the kind of response we got was, I've been a manager since you were a little sparkle in your daddy's eye. So don't tell me, young whippersnapper, I'm only 23, but don't tell me how to manage people. So it was a very much kind of like a push. We were saying, please. We were begging. Training rooms, please come and let us teach you. But there was no way they would do it. Now, the other thing I'd tell you about our people is they're very, very clever. And you can't bullshit them. They smell it a mile off. They know what's real, and we had to make it real for them. So the concept that came up was e-learning. Why don't we reach out and touch people with something a little bit different? So the first thing we did is we partnered ourselves with a fantastic organisation called Sponge UK, and they came along and sent me lots and lots of very young people who were very innovative and very creative on how they can create e-learning packages. But one of the things that we always said we wanted was to make it real. We want to keep it real, man. Yeah, you've got to keep it real. So, in terms of performance, we introduced a very simple ABC framework. A, appraisal. Yeah, achievement. We for years had got organisations to kind of like say, what is a rating for this individual, dependent on what they deliver. Now, I know a lot of managers who are bloody good at delivering tasks, but when it comes to leadership, they're appalling. They're the kind of guys that can go out there, they can drive the factories, but they leave a trail of destruction behind them. And I actually work with these people. People ask me what I do for a living. We don't save the world, that's the next presentation. We don't cure cancer. Our strapline is very simple. We create simple and wholesome pleasures. Now that is great when you say that in a pub, when people say, what do you do for a living? I create simple and wholesome pleasures. And it can open up all sorts of conversations. But let's be honest about what we do. We make biscuits, we make bloody good biscuits, and we have good people, but people themselves were also becoming stagnated. So ABC gave us appraisal, behaviour, and calibration. So no more of this letting people get away with it. No more of this people being seen to be overachieving every year, because what they can do is drive the KPIs. KPIs are great. You've got to hit your numbers. But when you leave a trail of destruction behind you with a team of individuals who despise you and hate working for you, and to use an analogy we use a lot is they leave their brains at the gate and they walk in and they pack their biscuits and then they walk out and pick their brains up on the way out. A lot of our people are very intelligent. I bet you've been asked this question a few times in the last couple of days where people say, how many have smart technology? Even people in factories have access to smart technology. They know smart technology very, very well. So we measured appraisal, achievements, behaviour and calibration, and PACE. P-A-C-E. P stands for performance. But performance is about your personal performance, your personal standards. It's all behavioural. What standards are you going to set for yourself and how you're going to achieve them? A stands for ambition. How ambitious are you? What is it that you want out of life? This thing about personal choice, it's up to you to be who you want and define what your ambition is and live to it. C is an interesting one, competition. We do make bloody good biscuits, but we also had a slight air of arrogance about ourselves. Nobody else made biscuits any better than we did. And then all of a sudden, this monster came out of the jungle called Mondelez, which all of us as employees don't know who the hell they are, but when you start to list their products, we thought, oh yeah, we better sit up and listen to these guys. Bringing in best practice, who does it the best? How do we compare ourselves? And then E is energy. And this is personal energy. Everybody gets up in the morning, makes a choice to go to work, but do you apply your discretionary effort? And if you do or you don't, why not? And it's about making decisions at the right level. So, using video. Why video? Video, we've all been grown up with video, yeah? When we were kids, you know, your mum used to put you in front of the telly for a couple of hours while she did a cleaning and used to watch also. Jeffrey and Bungle, yeah, Rainbow, how the hell they got away with that one, I don't know. But in terms of kind of like learning as a child, those characters are important to us. But like I said, there was this whole concept about how to keep it real. We wanted it to be authentic. We wanted people to be able to connect to it. So the choice that we took was, through working with Sponge in partnership, they provided us with some great professionals who helped us script what we were trying to say. We wanted to show performance management for how it's good. We wanted to show performance management for how it's bad. And people to actually see it. And they gave us the crew that came with it, and we went, and the authenticity of it was we wanted to film it on our site. So we went to the home of the gold bar, Carlisle, which did upset Sponge quite a bit because I don't think they'd gone that far north. And in terms of Carlisle, is filming it actually on site, so it was familiar to people as well. The surroundings, you could actually see and feel it. But then we wanted to take it one stage further. We didn't want to use actors. Actors are fantastic people who sit on the screen, and I, for one, enjoy watching them. However, sometimes it can be slightly patronising. Sometimes it doesn't feel authentic. Whereas if it's our own people, people can relate to it. And the people that we used are young budding graduates who are quite happy for somebody to shove a camera in the face, tick. And also people with a profile. They were known in the business. And when we were pushing out there and saying, come on to our training, they were saying no. When it got out there that there were two people who they knew performing on a video, people are curious. They want to see the performance. And as they're doing it, they're getting the learning. Yeah? The great thing about it with the video when we used it is they went, you want me to do that? And we went, yeah. Oh, well, you better come and give us a training course. So no more pushing, it was pulling. Come to site, show us, teach us, help us, support us. Do a little bit of statistic for you. This is Dale's experience triangle. So if you start at the bottom there, 10% of what you read, yeah? After 2 weeks, people remember 10% of what they read. After 2 weeks, people remember 30% of what they see. But add the two together, you get 50% of see and hear. And it's the experience. And also the experience for us was people having a laugh at some of our people actually having a go at acting or trying to show concepts. So, making it real. Keep it real, man. This lady works in my team, and her real name is Francesca Pauli. Now, Francesca is a manager. However, to protect the innocent, we couldn't use the names of her people. So we gave her a fictitious name, and she was called Karen. However, she is a manager, and she has had experience of managing people. Then what we had to find was another character called James. Francesca was playing the role of the manager. We had to find an arrogant male factory worker who only cared about his own performance than that of his team. I can tell you there was quite a few to pick from. And interestingly with these egos as well, when you say, come on and be on our film and everybody's going to see it, 9,500 people across UB International, Northern Europe, there was one individual who stood up and stepped forward. And I'm glad he did. And when we did the bit at the beginning and we scripted it and we spoke to him, he was really enthusiastic. And there's a young lad called Ian Drummond, 28 years old, done a lot in our business, great profile, project engineer, got his degree at Oxford, everybody loved him. And then it was a case of, it's dead easy, Ian, just be yourself. That's all I want you to do. I want you to answer the questions when Francesca throws it at you, and how would you answer that? And he gave us great examples of what bad looks like. Yeah? So, in terms of the technology, this is where I get, reinforcing the learning is an interesting concept. We didn't make it mandatory. Thou shalt watch this. We didn't do that. We sent it out as a link. It fell into people's email boxes. We'd made noise and about ABC and about the fact that your performance will be measured not just on what you do, but how you do it. People intrigued on what does that mean for me? So we sent out the messages and people were intrigued. And when we sent out the link, we said to them, it's there for you if you want to play. Out of the people we sent it, 62% of people clicked on it. Now, whether they just clicked and walked away, yeah, they may have done, because the way that this was designed is there's no test at the end. It is a toolkit for a manager to dip in and dip out of. So if they're going to have a coaching conversation, quick little flick onto it, remind myself of the skills, the tools, walk away, go away, apply the learning. Yeah? We have, out of that 62%, 15% of those people watched it from start to finish. There's the introverts in the world. They read it from cover to cover. They clicked on every click. They watched every video. But yet, when you drill down on that 15%, they revisited as well. We had a lot of people actually revisit the learning. So, good practice. Francesca and Ian were playing the role of Karen, the manager, and also the role of James. Now, James's character, it was a guy I used to work with in a different organisation. Yeah? When he walked into his room, his ego filled it first, and then he'd walk in behind. Very proud of his own achievements, and Ian, a very similar character. So what we wanted to demonstrate to people is what does good look like.
So I went to your site recently to sort of do a review with some people, people in your team and other just general colleagues around you, and to find out how the team is performing. And there was a bit of a feeling of low morale in general from your team at the minute. I've heard a few issues really. One is that they don't really feel that they're listened to, and the other is that your style is very much quite an autocratic style, but they don't really feel that there's much collaboration and that their ideas get taken on. So how would you...
It comes a bit surprising to me. I don't understand why they'd have low morale, because obviously we're the top site in the group, and I do make every effort to communicate that out to them. Mm-hmm. And obviously, what they're doing is important to the performance of the site.
Okay, what we're trying to demonstrate here is honesty. So Karen framing it and focusing on the how as well as the what. The response from the individual is that I don't understand it. My site performs, I do really well. But what she talked about was gaining feedback and how people felt about things. And that was really a new concept to UB. Giving feedback and talking about people's behaviours was very new. So leading on from that.
Okay, so by the next meeting, I would like if you could come back and sort of show how you've implemented more of those PACE behaviours by building those personal relationships, and hopefully we'll have collected some feedback by then that says that the team are feeling a bit more motivated.
Okay, Karen. Yeah, I can do it. I'll try my best.
Okay, great.
Cheers.
Nice to see you.
The key words in the response from Karen there, behaviour and feedback. Again, and I'm doing suck egg syndrome with the audience, but we're great at catching people doing things bad, but we're not that good at catching people doing things good. And feedback is quite a new concept for our organisation. So, you've seen the good stuff, this is the bad stuff. And this was Ian at his best. One take.
Karen, have you got a minute? I really need your help.
I'm just in the middle of something at the minute. Do you want to come back in a bit?
Well, it's a problem. I think I really need you to help me with it.
Okay. What's the problem?
Well, Derek's getting on my back and making my life hell.
That's Ian at his best. Just be yourself. Just go and ask the question. Go say you've got a problem and how it is. And in the e-learning as well, we stop at each point and say, what is the best choice of response at this level?
But surely that's your job,
I don't really think it's my job to do that, because at the end of the day, you have to take responsibility for your site and your actions.
Classic response. Yeah, it's not my fault, it's your fault. It's not my job, you need to do it, you need to deal with it. And as much as she's saying it, you don't feel it. And that's a lot that happens. Yeah? Thanks, Max. Another one? Remember, this is bad example. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll speak to him on this occasion then, but I won't, forever be having your conversations for you. You need to do it yourself.
How many times have you seen managers do that? Okay, all right, yeah, just this once, I'll take it on. Monkey management, again, a concept I'm sure you're all familiar with. A lot of monkey management. Yeah, here's my monkey, what do I do with it, boss? Give it me, I'll put it on my back and I'll go fix it for you. Yeah, keep the monkey with the person that owns it. And that's one of the concepts that we always, and this is why people choose then to leave, as they say, their brains at the gate and pick them up on the way out, because they don't have to make decisions. Managers will always do that for them. So that was just a little quick glimpse and example that we've actually pulled together to show you the good, the bad. And there's lots and lots of these scenarios, and they're based on true scenarios as well. And they're based on actually what's happened, so people could relate to it. Like I say, people were curious. They wanted to get and see Ian and Francesca perform and understand what it was, but people went back time and time again. I think because what we did is when we played the video, we stopped the video. We reflect on the example. And then the learner has options to actually click and select options that they think are the best, how to respond to this situation. Also, what we've got is we bring in concepts like grow, for example, coaching. So the example I showed you with Ian and Francesca, there's my problem, what do I do with it? It's okay, I'm your manager, I'll take it away and I'll fix it for you. The conversation could have been a hell of a lot different if she'd applied the coaching techniques. So it gives people what makes a good coaching manager, helping your team to grow, what you can do. And then what we have is a toolkit. There's tools as well, because a lot of people know GROW, G-R-O-W, know what it stands for. But a great coach isn't the one that has the answers, but the great questions. So what we did is we incorporated what we thought to be great questions at each level. And then changing behaviours. You used to walk into a canteen in a factory at break and you'd see people playing dominoes or playing cards or having conversations. Now when you go into a canteen at break, what you see is everybody's faces lit up as they stare into their tablet or their mobile phone. Yeah, we've got great ambitions that what we want to do is help change behaviours that we need to implement in a manufacturing environment with these people that spend time staring into these tablets. Believe me, that's quite scary on night shift when it's quite dark and all you can see is these faces lit up. Yeah, but pushing stuff out there like health and safety, things that are important, processes which are quite simple, showing people on video rather than putting them through extensive 3 weeks training. And our mission is simple. We want to change behaviours. We still want to remain the #1 biscuit company in the UK. Mondelez don't scare us. And also we want to introduce the concept of behaviours through PACE. So we've got a lot to go at. We're in year 2 of our strategy. And with using video and using other techniques, I'm sure we can get there. Thank you very much.